We've got quite a lot of people now, so I think we'll get started. I actually haven't had the opportunity to do a lot of these for a long time, or an AMA in general, just because we've been so busy. I think the last time I probably came onto the public was when we were doing Mint 2, probably about 5, 6 weeks ago. I'm not sure if anyone here remembers that period, but we've come amazing progress over the last 6 weeks to where we are today. It's just incredible the amount of I think progress, the positioning we've been, the social community that we've been able to build in such a short period of time. And one thing I'm really, really proud of is the team here, the amount of work they've put in, and therefore, I think that a lot of that in terms of results has actually started to really show. I think just to give you guys probably some stats uh, of the last 3 weeks, or even the last 2 weeks since our demo came out. As of today, we have about 70,000 people that played our demo. Our Twitter following went from about 20K or 25K to 250K within the last 2 weeks. Our Telegram groups and our Discord community now sit at almost 200K each. We have a total following of over 600,000, which makes us the number one play to earn in terms of social following. We're ranked number one on as play to earn game on Solana on playtoearn.net. And we were ranked 3. We're now probably about 5 or something, somewhere between number 3 and number 5 overall, just behind Axie and NBA. So that's just remarkable progress. From a fundraise perspective, we have 400. Within 3 weeks, we had 400 private investors, VCs, KOLs, influencer groups sign up to to invest into us in such a short period of time. We had 60,000 people sign up on our website to join our public launch. We actually, unfortunately, had to turn away the majority of them because we just didn't have any space. We did a world record launch on over 35 launch pads simultaneously. That's by and far the world record for any type of cryptocurrency project ever done, and that's just remarkable. I mean, just some stats. I think TrustSwap, they had a $1.4 million allocation within 2 hours of them putting up their campaign. They had pledges of over $13 million, right? So I think that this is just, I think, really incredible. I don't think any other project has gone from 0 to number 1 in such a short period of time, or made the type of progress that we've been able to make with our team building, with our game development, or with our community. And I think that speaks volumes to the work, the hard work the team is really dedicating, as well as to the quality of the product that we're actually building taking to market. So I think with all that said, I think that's a really big applause. I look forward, obviously, to listing next week. We haven't yet announced the final date of our list, but it will be sometime next week. And we plan to list on Raydium as well as the centralized exchange simultaneously, or on the same day. More details on that will be shared shortly. I want to actually spend a bit of time, I think, pausing there, and I think some of the things I'm going to spend some time talking through is, I think, number one, I think we've all seen the accomplishments that's this project has really done over the last few weeks. That obviously is to be celebrated, but I also wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about, I think, obviously the roadmap going forward. And then address some of the, form of FUD that some one or two parties have actually brought up in the last 24 hours. That obviously we are, we want to be very transparent, and my view on these things is that some people have looked at some things or taken some things out of context without the full context, and tried to put a story behind it. So I'll be addressing those those claims head on. And then I'll be spending a bit of time talking about the future, what we're planning to do. I guess post listing, all our good plans, and then also probably just leave a little bit of time for Q&A afterwards. So first of all, I think let's address some of the FUD comments. Some of you might be aware that there were probably about 2-3 different parties that came out with FUD over the last 24, 48 hours. The bulk of that we've actually addressed in a Medium post that I sent out. Now, I want to first, before actually addressing those FUD, I want you guys to understand why there's FUD around us. It's the reason we have FUD and other projects don't have FUD is because we've literally grown. We're breaking records for the amount of growth that we've managed to achieve in such a short period of time. We're doing things that no other project has ever done. So, the number of investors that we put onto our books, the number of launch pads that we've actually put, also put onto or launched at simultaneously at the same time. These are things that people have not done before. And we're very, very aggressive when it comes to marketing and hiring new people left and right. And I think that type of mindset for our company is the mindset that has brought us to today. But on a go-forward basis, it's going to let us be the number one and hold the number one position when we actually launch our game. Because we're going to be the first one out to the market. We're going to be the first one to go and acquire users. And we're doing things that people have never done before. So, as I said yesterday, if we were just a lazy company growing very slowly, doing exactly what everyone else does, we wouldn't have FUD, right? But the reason we have FUD is because we're trying new things out, right? The Launchpad strategy, the number of investors we're doing, right? These are things that have never been done in the crypto world. And when there's a company out there that's innovating and doing new things that are completely different from what other companies are doing, people are going to think, wow, there must be a hack, right? They must be doing something illegal, right? They must be, whatever the reason is. But it's not that, right? The simple answer is we're doing things that are unorthodox, right? And, that has started to pay off, right? If you look at the data and the progress that we've made, it's shown that what we're doing, even though it's different from what other companies have done to today, right? We are doing things that work. And if I might remind you guys of companies like Apple, right? They did not get to where they are today by copying other companies. And we have no intention of doing, exactly what everyone else does or following the same traditional paths in this space where, I think to be number one, you've got to be innovative, right? This entire sector is so new, so different, and it's going to disrupt traditional gaming. You can't be doing what everyone else does. So that's a bit of background on why. So let's talk about exactly, just spend a few minutes on exactly what the concerns were brought up, right? So there were a few of them. The first one was about my past projects being scams. If you guys actually take a look at the Medium that I launched out, you'll note that there's nothing in those projects that indicate they are scams. I never sold a single token, right? The projects are still ongoing, right? The projects were audited by TechRate, right? They still have their website up, their socials are up, they're still being run. Admittedly, not very well since I left, but still these projects and the liquidity is still there. So these are not rug pulls or these are not scams. So when I first started CatsCoin, it was in March, April, May this year, right? Meme coins were very, very hot, right? And when I think about the time where I want to be spending my time, I want to be spending time where things are hot and things are moving and things are innovative, right? So we tried to create a cat community at that time. It didn't work out, and I ended up moving to another project that actually had utility. But the project is still there, right? You can actually still join the room. I've never sold a token, right? And there's nothing that would otherwise indicate that that's a scam. Obviously, meme coins all crashed, right? When, every, Dogecoin, Shiba Coin all fell down. But, that project, it was not a scam. The second project, similar, right? We tried to do something with a bit more use case, right? So we try to create an adult content platform that's trying to bring the OnlyFans concept, but to the crypto world. Again, that project is still ongoing. When I left, the project was actually at all-time high. And, at the time in which I left was literally at the end of August, which was exactly the time when I started SoulChicks. So, again, the liquidity is still there. I've never sold any tokens. If you go and research it, you can look at this project. It's actually quite a high quality project. Obviously, I think maybe the team that is still there hasn't run it as efficiently as me since I left, but nonetheless, the project is still there. So then I think there were also some comments on I think the number of investors that we have and why it's different. I'll explain to you guys why we have so many investors, right? The reason we have a lot of investors is because when we went out to go to market, our philosophy or our thesis was that if you have more investors, particularly KOL groups or influencer groups or various other marketing groups, and if they invest into you and they locked with you via a vesting mechanism for 15 months plus, what that means is that they actually are essentially stuck with you. And they are they all have their individual communities, right? Each of the investors, each of these KOLs, they have somewhere between, some of them have 10,000 in their community, but some have 2 million in their community. And for me, that's a really, really great way of actually being able to market very effectively, right? Because they effectively act as your outsourced marketing agency, right? And so what that means is that right now we have 200 investors that are stuck with us for at least 15 months. We're putting in place a program where we can actually hit these investors up on a regular basis. Can you make sure you tweet about us? Can you make sure you do an AMA for us with your community? Can you make sure you do a YouTube video for us? And that's just a really, really powerful tool for getting exposure and marketing out your name that no other project actually has. So that's why we did it, right? It's not a bad thing that having more investors. It's only a bad thing if the investors buy at a much lower price than the public buys, because that means that when they go, we launch on a public day, they've already made 30 times their money and they will sell off. But our private investors, most of them are actually only getting at a 20% discount to the public price, right? In order to get 20% discount, they have to lock themselves for 15 months plus. So we have a lot of investors, but they're basically getting it at almost the same price as you guys, maybe slightly lower, right? But then they are actually locked there for 15 months and they have to do our marketing. So that's never been done before. It's actually a very smart way of doing marketing. The results are showing, right? Because we've literally leapfrog from a social following point of view and exposure point of view versus any other projects. In literally 2 weeks' time, right? So we know that it works, right? So that's the other one that was being run. There was another one that came out that basically said, hey, there's all these files, right? If you look at these files, these guys use bots, and these guys were using, paying for influencers to go and tweet. And these guys were, being very aggressive with their marketing and spending a lot of money. And, there's even at, when they were very small, they were buying a few Twitter followers. We don't deny that, right? That we definitely did, right? So when we first started, we bought about 1,000 Twitter followers because we didn't want to go market project with 0 followers, right? It makes sense to have, 1,000 followers. Otherwise, no one takes you seriously. We haven't bought any followers ever since, right? And then the other things that, they're talking about, right? The botting strategy, paying for influencers. These are very, very traditional. These are actually good marketing strategies, right? So it means that we're actually doing work, right? We're actually, have a very aggressive marketing plan, and we actually, have a good plan for getting our name out there, right? I would be very, very worried if any project that you guys invest in weren't doing marketing the way we're doing. So again, I don't know. To be honest, that one seemed a bit stupid. because I think the sign of a really great project is being very organized and very aggressive when it comes to marketing. And I think that that does show that we're actually doing that, and we're doing a really good job of that. So, I think keep in mind, this project, we're not trying to, come out with we're not coming out with a game in 3 years or 4 years time. We'll come out with an alpha in five months time, where we'll be massively spending a lot of time and a lot of energy and hiring people left and right who are hungry and working 18 to 20 hours a day in order to literally be number one and disrupt the industry. So I think for you guys, like, you should take this as a great sign of a company that's really spending a lot of time and effort, and very, very passionate about what they're doing and trying to disrupt the industry. And to be honest, if this was a project that I had to pick between that project and another project that, not making any waves, they're taking their time with things, and not really having much impact, I know which one will probably grow the fastest and become the next unicorn, or beyond. So that's some of the FUD. I think that was the main one. I think some of you might have seen what happened with MetaPlay. MetaPlay this morning. I mean, obviously, we're a very, very respectful and professional company. We spent a lot of time addressing their concerns that they brought up. But at one point, the CEO, I'm sure you saw in the messages, he was very rude. He was attacking us all the time. He was racist. He was actually making death threats against me. And we don't support that type of behavior. That's not the type of behavior we want to see, in our partners and in our team at all. And hence, we decided to cancel his allocation. So that's the bulk of what's happened over the next 24 to 48 hours. Obviously, this type of stuff does happen. But, the way I think about these things is that these are very short-term things. The ultimate result, or the ultimate, driver of a company's price, right, or the value of a company, is going to be based on the team, the product they produce, and the progress they actually make. And if you look at our team, right, we've got 70, 80 people today across the world, 19 different countries that are working around the clock. If you look at our product, we're probably one of the best products out there that have moved the fastest. And the progress that we've been able to make in terms of socials, in terms of the playable demo that's come out, in terms of our fundraising, in terms of the marketing, I think, without a doubt, I would be very comfortable about this project on a go forward basis. So that's that. Maybe just to move on to the future, or future roadmap, and give you guys a sense of what we're going to be starting to do from here. I'll probably, maybe actually what I'll do is I'll just talk about why we actually came into Play to Earn. We started this 3 months ago because Play to Earn is a really exciting industry for us. We got really interested because in the Philippines with Axie, we literally could see how that economic driver, right, the ability to earn money while playing a game, was literally transforming the entire country, right? And it was making people who had never touched a game before actually pick up a game and get to know it and start playing it on a day-to-day basis. So we know that the earning aspect of Play to Earn is going to disrupt the traditional gaming industry. It's already shown through the form of Axie that it has disrupted the traditional gaming industry. And it's something that we see happening over the next few years. Now, the issue I think I have with Axie is that, this is not me trying to be rude. It's a pretty basic game. It's a turn-based game. You sort of have to sit there and you have to wait for the game to play, or your opponent to attack you, and then you have to attack them. It's relatively simple game. It's done tremendously well, obviously, but it doesn't have the same entertainment value that a League of Legends, right, or a Dota 2 or a Diablo style game actually has. And we know from traditional markets, right, that these are games that have lasted over 15 years, are super, super popular, that people love playing. And the thinking is that if you can bring that game that has, for example, League of Legends has 200 million daily users, right? If you can bring it over to the blockchain and give the people the economic earning incentive, you can actually build in a very, very short period of time a huge user base, right? That will be even bigger than what Axie has today. Because the way I see it is Axie, a lot of people play it just to earn money, right? But they don't actually play it to enjoy it, and there's no way anyone will be willing to spend cosmetics on a game like Axie. So we see the market, right, for play to earn. It's going to be so much bigger than what it is today. The big traditional gaming markets of the US, the Korea, Japan, the UK, they haven't actually been tapped yet. And so the first company to move there and get into that space, they will be able to be a first mover in those countries and build a very, very strong competitive advantage that makes it almost impossible for any company thereafter to take market share from you. So our goal when we started 3 months ago was to build this number one play to earn game, take a Dota or League of Legends style game or Diablo style game, put the play to earn element to it, dominate this market, come first to the market share. Come first to market, be the one here, first. And if you're first here and you move really, really quickly and you start acquiring users, it will make it very hard for any other company there are later to actually take market share and take our users from us. So that's the thesis. And that's why when we pulled together people, right, like if you look at the composition of our team, it's broken into three parts, right? You've got this part that is the top tier business people, right? Like my background is, McKinsey, the top consulting firm in the world, right? When people, talk to me about qualifications for running a business, you cannot have a better qualification than working at a company like McKinsey or being educated at a place like Wharton, which is the number one business school in the world, right? So, we have a really great business operations marketing team. They run the business, but they aren't actually, they run the business, right? And they do the marketing things, and we set the strategy and we execute on our plans. And then we have a very world-class game development team, right? They based out of Korea. These are the best of the best, right? Senior game developers of games such as MapleStory, Dungeon Fighter, PUBG, Terra. Again, the best games in the world, right? And we've got the best game team actually creating them. But one thing, just for you guys to understand, that sets us apart from our competitors, right? We don't actually have, despite having a world-class game development team, we don't actually let them run the company, right? Because I believe you have to have, even though you need to have world-class game development team, but the business itself needs to be run by business people who understand how to do business and how to operate and how to execute very fast. So when we set out the team, we have, our game development team, they do all the game development side of things. The business and the marketing and operation side of things, we do the strategy, the execution, the governance, and all the day-to-day stuff. And then we also have, a really great team of about 30, 40 people in our community, right? Again, these are community managers. They love our product, right? They spend a lot of time for it. And I'm very, very proud of the work that they've been able to actually accomplish over the last 2-3 months. So that's what we set out to come out with. We have a team that all around, we work hard, we push hard, we're not very lazy. We know how to, we don't spend time on things that don't really matter, right? We spend times on things that really, really do matter, right? And so I think what you've seen is our demo came out. It's a very high quality demo. In fact, it's probably the highest quality demo out of any play to earn game right now. That was created after 3-4 weeks of work of record, right? There's no other company that can create that type of level of quality in such a short period of time. We will have our alpha launch in March next year, and we're aiming to have a full game by July, somewhere between July September next year as well. So that's the long term plan. I think obviously we have a lot of work that we'll be setting upon. Like, for example, we'll be trying to bolster up our game development team. Right now, it's 15 people. We'll be trying to increase that to 30 or 40 people in a very short period of time. We're hiring left and right for the business team. So we're trying to get more people on board. Again, top tier business people who know how to run and scale operations and businesses. We're building out essentially a C-suite, right? So we'll get on board a CMO, we'll get on board, chief growth officer, and just from the top tier gaming companies, right? So we're speaking to a lot of the big brands right now to try to hire people, senior executives from those firms to come and join our team. And we're also looking at potentially we'll also be doing things. For example, we're going to do a redesign of the Solchick avatar. We're going to make it better. We'll be looking at all the things across our business and try to make it better as a whole. So that's probably gives you a bit of a snapshot into our future plan. I'll probably, before I just open it up to Q&A, I'll probably just say a few things. Look, I ultimately, I think a business is built from its team, the quality of its team, but also the community that we're able to build around it. I mean, obviously, this is a very young project, right? And our community is still growing every single day, right? But I very welcome you all. I'm very privileged to have you guys come and join this venture and this project that we're starting together. This is still very much early days. I would love if you guys, if any of you ever want to get involved, whether it's a moderator or a manager or even join part of the team, please let myself or one of the guys on the team know. We do welcome people who, share the vision and the dream that we have of literally transforming the gaming industry. So, thank you all for coming. Look, I think I would say FUD is FUD. We're going to get past it, right? We're much bigger than just some FUD, and all those things that there are going to be things that pop up for companies that are innovative and changing the world and disrupting an entire sector. So as a company, right? I've told the guys in my team, we'll definitely move past it, right? It's just a few days. In long term, I think we have very big plans for what we're going to build out, and we're going to be continuing to build them out. And I think this is really just the start of the really, really big journey, right, over the next few years. So I hope you guys are very excited, as excited as I am, at what is coming up in the next few months and next few months. So with that said, I will probably hand it off. Ashley, if there's any Q&A, happy to take a stab.
Yep, just opening it up now. Hey Manny, would you like to ask a question?
Yeah, hi, good morning all. So here it is early morning in India. So yeah, just I saw the post from Meta Pad and all the stuff. Okay, so I haven't I got allocation in that, but I haven't invested in that. But I got from another platform, Launchpad. So I got the tokens. So since they have cancelled the allocation and given back, they saying, right. So is it like all the launch pads are gonna decide like this, or what are the plans do you have to discuss on this issue? And if it is not going to rectifiable, then fine. But what about other launch pads which we have invested already? So it will be like similar or something like that.
No. So just to be very clear, right? It's just this one launchpad. They didn't cancel on us. We canceled on them. The reason we canceled on them was because they were they kept attacking us as a project. they were making racist remarks to us,
Okay.
and they were literally sending death threats. Like, if you guys, I mean, I won't point out exactly where to find it, but there is a screenshot out there, right? So we don't want to deal with those type of partners. We don't think it's professional, and we don't think it's a way to have a long-term relationship. And that's why we ended up canceling it.
And
None of the
what
other
about Red Kite? Red Kite also they said something, right? In the
No, so
email.
they pulled out, but that was actually a while ago. So
Okay.
as you can imagine, when we went to a number of launch pads, we talked to probably about 40, 45, 34 of them or 35 of them accepted. And then some of them didn't get there because number one, I think the number one reason was because we had a lot of launch pads and it's never been
Okay.
done before, and some weren't comfortable about, launching with, 34 other launch pads. The
Okay.
second reason was we also have, a relatively, a slightly higher, well, a higher starting price than what most projects are coming out with. Again, there's good reason for why we did that, and the Red Kite actually pulled out because they were very uncomfortable. Well, they were, they didn't want to be part of a launch pad that has 34 launch pads, which is fine,
Okay.
right? But
Okay.
that's what happened. But that's a
Yeah,
different
one more thing.
issue.
We have
Yeah.
raised a lot of money, right? So when we raised a lot of money, is there a chance that whenever the listing, the price gonna slump? So that time you will be buying back the tokens, or you will be just seeing that the price going down. Yes, I of course understand that in future, if you are able to succeed with the game and the roadmap will be succeeded, then definitely that is not gonna matter. But if the price slump is larger than initial listing price, like purchase price, then what is the thing you are
Yeah,
gonna do?
so let me be very clear, right? We
Yeah,
we have raised more than other projects, but it's not a
correct.
huge amount of money, right?
Okay.
We had 60,000 people sign up to our website. We had to turn away. We had to reject more than 80% of them, right?
Okay.
There were a lot of people who only got, $20 of allocation when they wanted 25K of allocation, right? Trust
Okay.
Swap, right? We gave them $1.4 million of allocation. They had $13 million of pledges on their site, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
you have to put that into the context here. If you compare us with a normal project, right, just your average project on BSC, yes, it seems
Okay.
like a lot, right? But keep in mind the size of what we're trying to build, the team we have, right? The growth that we've experienced in such a short period of time. The amount that we raise is actually not a lot, right? And my plan is like, in 6 months' time, 6 months' time or 9 months' time, we'll actually go to an institutional cap. So what I mean by that is we'll go to the
Yeah.
much bigger VCs and raise two, three
Correct.
hundred million
Yeah.
dollars, right? To grow this even faster, right? Because I
Okay.
want this to be a 50 billion, $100 billion company. So, yes, we're raised, more than other, small projects, right? But I don't think you should think of it in that sense.
Okay. So one last thing. So you said there is a lot of opportunity to contribute in SoulChicks and SoulChicks community, right? So I am a professional by a security engineer. I do a lot of web application pen testing. So if there is any opportunity like us, I am very much happy to contribute to the SoulChicks. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't you do this? Our Twitter DM function is open. If you send
Okay.
us a message after, right, just DM us. We'll
Okay.
review it and we'll come back to you. And very happy, obviously, to have you involved in whatever it is.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. That's what it the FUD was like something which is bad, but way we grow, way the Soul Chicks has been social community has been grown. It is really tremendous. I see that there are not lot many they can able to raise this many followers in this much of short period of time. That shows really how well the marketing has been done. So for that the price really justification price and all temporarily matters. So final product is what matters, I guess, for the people who really believe in SoulCheck. So that's what I'm asked to say. So thank you, William.
Yeah, thank you so much. I completely agree with you.
Awesome. I've just invited Jonathan to speak. Hey, Jonathan.
Hey, how's it going? Firstly, William, thanks for coming out just before launch and answering all these difficult questions. I think you handled most of them fairly well. Just a question from my side. You guys have raised a lot of funds, as you said, and you guys are trying to change the way that people do things with these raises. Just a quick one. Why have you guys not lined up with a big tier one exchange if you claim to be such a big powerhouse in the space?
Yeah. So the answer for that is pretty simple. We're in discussions with most of the exchanges. Now, a lot of them want to see. Well, most of the tier ones, they don't accept everyone or anyone onto the exchange, right? So, a lot of them want to see evidence of trading volume across a couple of days, and then after that, they will then accept you onto the exchange. We have lined up two exchanges for day number one. It's not tier one, but we actually have actually already two tier one exchanges who have invested into us, and they are just waiting for us to see our trading volume day one before pushing through our listing process. And then we have another one that a very, very, very big one that we're in discussions with. They will also want to invest into us. They actually want to invest a lot of money into us and actually take a lot of the tokens. And we're negotiating with them on right now on in terms of where how much they can take and what valuation. So that's all in progress. I would say again, I think if we're showing that we have the right people and the right volume and the right traction, there shouldn't be any issues getting listed on any of the exchanges.
Cool, thanks. Just another question. Do you guys have any plans, if a lot of these IDO guys start selling, do you have market makers in place to protect the price?
Yeah, that's right. So we have two separate market makers currently signed up. So one market maker in Radium and then one on our centralized exchange. They'll be there to act as price support day one.
Cool. Thanks a lot. Good luck with everything.
Thanks.
Player has dug their own grave. I mean, that CEO that definitely isn't unprofessional. He just committed a felony by just threatening you, seriously. And then he's a racist. I can see that. Good luck to you guys. I know you guys will moan. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we want to remain professional, as you can imagine. It was definitely not the type of partner that we want.
Hey, Cyberhang. Would you like to ask a question?
Okay. I want to ask, do we have any competitors? And another question is that, what CEX are you aiming to be listed on? Thanks.
The question I think was, do we have any main competitors? Look, I probably won't name any names. There are definitely other games out there that are currently being built. I would say probably just some observations. Some of them, a lot of them, I find they tend to be run by game development teams, and therefore they actually move relatively slowly versus what a traditional company might be able to do. I think I don't think. I mean, if you look at outside this realm of games, there's not that many games. I mean, things are moving very fast, obviously, right? But there hasn't been many games that have actually come out with a playable demo. The amount that probably have, you can probably count on five fingers. And I think what we'll see over the next few months is the company that can move the quickest is going to really be able to develop a very strong market share. And I'm very comfortable that we probably do have the team that moves the quickest, definitely the most hardworking, and the one that's literally online 24/7, doing things every single moment of the time of the day. So I think that's all very positive. With regard to the CEXs, we have signed an agreement where we can't actually announce it before they do. So at this point, I can't say who they are, but I guess you guys will find out in the next week.
Hey, Spartan Black, I've just added you as a speaker. You may have to click unmute. All right, I guess we'll move on. Haben, do you have a question?
Everyone's too shy. Okay, Ashley, why don't we do one more and then we'll probably wrap it up.
Hi everyone. I have a good question, please. The project is clear for me. I can't wait to get thing started. I've played the game and I love it. One small thing, if anyone can help me out. I think my wallet was compromised, and I'm supposed to get my airdrop before launch. And I was wondering if anyone can help me switch addresses, make a new wallet. Thank you.
Yes, so that's definitely possible. So what you should do is, if you don't mind DMing us either via Twitter or through our Discord, you can actually create a ticket, and then in the ticket you can raise that up, and then we will we have a spreadsheet where we can essentially change addresses for anyone whose wallet is compromised, and we can actually do that all the way, even after launch. So it shouldn't be an issue.
All right, last speaker, and we can wrap it up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, we can.
Right. My question is related to the other question you've answered already, but I would like to ask anyway, because the initial launch was a bit earlier in the month, and everything was set to go, including your VCs. And then later you said that most of the investors will be paying around 20% less. How is that possible when the launch was already ready? So my main question is, would you guys be releasing any detailed papers regarding tokenomics and prices for VCs and public sales and that sort of documents?
Yeah, so the simple answer to that is most of our private investors bought at 4 cents. Most of our public investors, including the ones on the launch pads and the ones on through our own website, bought at 5 cents. The difference is the buyers in the 4 cents 4 cents round, they essentially have to lock themselves up for 15 months. So they only get 10% unlocked day one. They then have 3 months where they don't get anything. And then after 3 months, they then get the rest of their component over the course of another 12 months. So all in, there's a 12 month lock. That aligns them with us, because what that means is, for 15 months, you essentially can pull on them for support, have them tweet about you. If you have a robust plan around marketing and follow up, they can actually be a lot of value for you.
Yeah.
The public round is done at 5 cents. That's the same price on every single launchpad, including our website. That is 25% TG unlock, and then there will be vesting over the period of 3 months from TG. So that's what I meant by that.
Yeah, I understood that part. The question was, when earlier in the month we were ready to launch at 1 cent, we already had VC.
Oh no. So let me give you an example. Let me tell you what happened there. So those were old prices. We ended up we actually ended up moving pretty much all investors up from that price.
Right.
So no investor at that price. Yeah. So all investors actually went up. So there's practically no, or with the exception of maybe one or two guys, right? Pretty much all investors moved up in prices, right? So there's no one left at those old prices. They were very, very old prices when we started.
Right, got it. Just for our own sort of community sort of initiative, because all these questions you answered very well. All of these answers could have been avoided if we just did, like I was asking, is there any plan at some point where we could just release some papers that this is the allocation, that's how it is. You don't have to be bothered with any of these questions when we could be talking about the project itself, like in EMEA today. That would just clear things up.
Yeah, look, the token economics are actually in our pitch deck. That was on the website. There's still some things moving around. For example, we have to give some people refunds and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But once that's all settles, we'll come out with a final version of the token economics.
Okay, that's brilliant, because I can't wait to play the game, because I'm a gamer first and investor second. So hopefully you guys can make that happen for us.
Yeah, no, definitely.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you. All right, cool. So thanks a lot, everyone, for coming. Look, I hope that was informative. If there's any other questions, shoot them. I suggest you guys shoot them through our Twitter, and then the team will collate any remaining questions, and then we'll prepare a written response to those questions. I think with that said, look, I hope there's a lot that's happening. There's a lot that has happened. Obviously this hasn't happened without drama, but that's all part of the good fun. We will be working really hard over the coming months to really deliver a great product and a great team, and something that really will transform this industry. And so with that said, I hope you guys are as excited as I am. This is day number, T-3 or T-4, right? We're still very, very early, and there's a lot that will happen in the coming months and weeks. So thank you everyone for coming. Please do keep in mind, my comments around if anyone does want to get involved, we would love to have you guys on. This whole journey obviously is a team effort and a effort of the community. And so if anyone wants to definitely get involved, reach out to us. We would love to have support left and right. So thanks a lot for joining.